Well, hi for now, folks. Hope you don't mind joining me in bed, but we're unpacking some furniture downstairs and it looks a little bit crazy, so honestly, this is the tidiest room in the house. So this week has been the kind of week where you're sitting in a cafe with someone really important, say your crush, your boss, your rich family member, and you sense they're about to declare their love for you, offer you a promotion, or talk about the size of your inheritance. But you're desperate for the loo. And yes, it's a number 2. You really want to stick it out to the end, but they're still not reaching the point. So eventually, you have no choice but to make your excuses and say you'll be back in a minute, hoping you're telling the truth. So you dash straight for the conveniences, sit down, relax all of the tension in your body, and as you pass the point of no return, you just happen to notice they've run out of toilet roll. You know what I mean?
The Graticast, Episode 34, Life versus YouTube.
So last month was the first month since April last year with no Graticast. Why? Well, lots of things. Everything. I started 2015 still catching up on a backlog of work that built up around last October, and March was always going to be a big month for me. Well, book day is surprisingly busy for those of us who tell stories without books, and 2 of my biggest projects came to completion within a week of each other. And the technical problems I mentioned last episode didn't just affect our music video Write a Song, which I hope you enjoy and share if you haven't done already, cause it's a lot of fun. Ooh, and my girl and I had our rock and roll bronze medal dance exam. So yeah, I knew last month was gonna fly by. But then my legs gave up all hope of doing a quick march. Sorry. Now I'm used to walking quite fast, so developing knee pain actually slowed me down quite a lot. But oddly, it seemed to get more painful when I'd been sitting down for a long time or driving the car. But my doctor diagnosed it incredibly quickly as moviegoer's pain. Not, as you might imagine, a piece of popcorn somehow lodged in the lung, or the ineffable sense of regret when paying extra for 3D. No, actually it's inflammation under the kneecaps which gradually builds up, especially when you're sitting with bent legs. Ironically, one of the causes is apparently over-exercise. So great. I work out to keep my body together, and it falls apart. Now I know how asthmatics felt when the NHS stopped prescribing them cigarettes in the 60s. I'm not kidding, look it up. Then came this peculiar and rather disconcerting coldness and numbness that spread all through my right arm, even though it still looked and worked fine. It was almost like my arm was undead. This turned to pain in the months between February and now. The doctor was less sure about this one. He was pretty sure it had something to do with my ulnar nerve, which isn't uncommon. But a trapped nerve should have worn off by now, and apparently other things it could indicate included diabetes, thyroid disease, and MS. So, naturally, he ordered a blood test. Well, it takes more than constant discomfort and pessimistic prognoses to get me down. After the test, the nurse asked me if I was okay, and I stood straight up and said, "Sure." Great, well if you could get going then, we got a bit of a queue outside. So I dutifully left and went back to reception to book my follow-up appointment. And as I was putting the date into my diary, I suddenly became aware that I was being loaded into a wheelchair. You see, the gap left by the extracted blood had been a little bit slow reaching my head, meaning that I passed out right there in reception, by all accounts falling backwards like a tree and bouncing my head on the floor. The resultant concussion meant I was banned from books and screens for a whole week, and even when I'd recovered, I then had loads and loads of rearranged paid bookings to catch up on, which kept me from other hobbies like posting videos on YouTube. I tell you, that could have seriously ruined my whole week. But of course, I know that my pain was nothing compared to that suffered by victims of ME, MS and other diseases, or war even. In fact, I could even find ways to count my agonies as blessings. To start with, I got a few days of rest, which is actually quite rare for me. Plus I got swathed in love from Tito here and my wonderful girlfriend, which is also quite rare for me. Just kidding. Although I guess I did get bonus snuggles, which really opened my eyes as to just how much they care for me. One thing struggle does inspire is heroism. And, well, my girlfriend was definitely my heroine. Stronger than any chemical cocktail from a needle. I'm also indebted to the nurses at Staplo's Surgery in Soham for their prompt, top-quality attention, without which that knock could have been far worse. Others gave me plenty of support too, such as my girlfriend's wonderful parents, my colleagues on the Board of Trustees for the Society for Storytelling, and all those teachers who kindly rearranged their bookings. So, thanks everyone. So yeah, seeing care and support generously offered by others, out of love, or duty, or both, has been a huge inspiration and made me even more keen to get the Graticast back up on track. So, you and I can share the blessings of life whilst raising money for debilitating diseases at the same time. And on that note, don't forget that this Sunday at 7 PM is our live Graticast interview with the beautiful Alice Wright, founder of the charity Smile for ME. Her charity offers encouragement and support to young people newly diagnosed with that horrible disease, at that crucial time when they might be scared, confused, and finding that their friends just don't understand and don't know what to say. So do please join us, and if you have a question for Alice, do please send it in, or even send in your shout out for her to read for you. And speaking of shout outs, on Facebook, Berenice shared her gratitude for securing a new job. She says she's moving onwards and upwards, or possibly downwards. What's the job, Berenice? Sewer maintenance? Well, Tito and I hope it works out for you. Lilifer thanked good friends and her daughter's beautiful smile for keeping her engaged with life and able to enjoy it. Don't worry about popping your head back up over those clouds once in a while though, Lily. You might catch some good ideas up there to put in practice down here. And finally, Karen gave plenty of thanks for Sunshine, her sister, and 31 new friends made at The Mystery Experience. Now I know what that is, folks. It's a relaxing and inspirational retreat run at Glastonbury Abbey House by the stand-up philosopher Timothy Freak. I'll pop the link down in the description for this video so you can find out more about it if you like. So thanks for sharing, Karen. And don't forget, you can send in your shout-outs of thanks too, using Facebook or Twitter or even Google+, which is how Tracy sent in her nomination for this video's Gratitune, in memory of the brilliantly talented entertainer Keith Harris, who sadly passed away this week. She suggested his uplifting duet with the magnificent Orville the Duck. To enjoy the full song, follow the link at the end of this video. And finally, thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below about how much you enjoyed this video and share it around your favourite social media. Before I leave you though, one last thing. Whenever life gives you a strike, just remember, that's 10 points plus double points on your next bowl and an extra turn if you're near the end of the game. Stay thankful, and ciao for now.